Hi, welcome to another episode of Mom Does It All. If you're looking for encouragement, empowerment, and uplifting in motherhood and mompreneurship, this is a show for you. I'm your host, Marta Spurk, triplet mom, woman empowerment coach, and all things motivation extraordinaire. On this episode, I talk about how all the personal development work I've done on myself has allowed me to find my way back to myself. I have been able to reconnect with who I really am and understand what I really love and what I'm meant to do with my life. I also encourage you to do the same. Let's get right to it. On the last solo episode that I recorded, I talked about wanting to organize a live event here in Denver and going on TV to talk about it. And it's happened. It's all happened. I am so excited. So just last week, a few days ago, from the date of this episode, I actually got to go on TV. And what was interesting was that I actually got the date wrong. So if you've been following me on stories and on social media, you saw that. I went all the way to the studios a week early because I hadn't paid attention to the date. I have an issue with details. And I just thought, this Friday, but they actually meant this Friday and put the date right after it. And I didn't take the time to read the actual date. So anyways, I end up going there a week early, and they still let me go on set to say hi to the anchor, who's my friend Natalie, that I've interviewed here on the show. And it was fun. So we just got to connect and talk, and she had some ideas for some other things that I could record and do for future segments on the show. So I was super excited. And to be honest, this entire experience with being able to get on TV and connecting with her has been amazing. It really has been something that I was searching for, and I started realizing this only recently too, that one of the mentors that I've had in this coaching journey would always tell the story of how he had a huge name, Jack Canfield, take him under his wings to just mentor him after a rough time in his life when he decided to quit his job and become an entrepreneur, essentially. And I kept on kind of, silently dreaming and praying, God to have something similar happen in my life. And recently I've come to realize that it is happening, that not only have I found a really close friend who happens to be Brazilian too, who happens to be a coach, who I had the opportunity to work with, and that has now become a friend that has really taken me under her wings as a mentee, but also as a friend, without, wanting anything in return other than just see my success and to help me. And I'm going to have her here on the show. Her name is Rebecca, and she's amazing. She's going to be one of the speakers at my event, but let me not get ahead of myself. And I really do believe that Natalie is this other person too, somebody that I really look up to and that believes in me and that is just helping me by giving me these opportunities and also agreeing to be a part of my event. So just so beyond blessed and grateful for everything that's been happening. And so anyway, I went to the studios a week early, but I still got to get together, talk to her. And then last week I got to go again, which gave me a lot more time to get everything organized for this event. And what I've been calling it is really a birthday bash. So I'm going to be 33 December 2nd, and I'd already had plans of going to a karaoke, doing like a karaoke night with close friends. And then I thought, you know what, especially after coming back from Brazil and doing that workshop, I'm just going to put something together here in Denver. And I don't think I would have had the guts to just start something and do something on my own if I hadn't seen how simple it could be when I did it in Brazil with the help of friends. And that's one thing that I have been learning through this whole process of coaching and entrepreneurship is that we can get a lot farther ahead and faster if we put our egos aside and decide to partner up with people that have different zones of genius, people that are willing to help and that are good at different things. And this is what I did. So at first when I was like, all right, I'm going to start organizing for this event, I was thinking I'm just going to be the main speaker. It is what it is. And then I thought, why not have a panel? Why not invite other amazing, wonderful, inspiring women that I've connected with in the last few years to come and share their story and add more value to the event as well. And as soon as I started thinking of the people that I could invite, it just came so easily. And everyone that I invited said yes right away, even before I sang the date and time, which I got to find this place that I went to before for another in-person event called Women of Denver, which is actually where I met Melanie DeRose that I interviewed on the last episode. And this venue is actually a nonprofit, so it's free. You get to book it a couple of months in advance. And so I did. I booked it for December 10th. It's going to be at 9:30 in the morning, so it's going to be short. I figured for our first event, I'll just have it be 3 hours. So starting at 9:30, ending at 12:30, we're going to have a coffee break. I already have snacks sponsored and everything, and just so amazed at how everything came together. And I'm going to have 6 different ladies be a part of 2 different panels. And then I'm going to have my talk, which is going to be the interactive workshop with exercises for self-esteem, self-love, self-image. And I am so freaking excited about it. So I am having early bird tickets. So the first 20 people that get their tickets are going to get a discounted price. And then you have the other 20 tickets for general admission. So the event is going to be sitting 40 people. And I am so excited. I am so excited because tickets are already on sale. People are buying and responding and saying that they're so interested to go. And the reason why I'm calling this kind of like a birthday bash is that I'm going to be inviting all the women that I've got in touch with, and plus all the other women that I might not know that are going to be guests from the other guest speakers. Because I have friends from such different circles, you know, the Brazilian community, the Mothers of Multiples community, the entrepreneurs that I have met throughout this time. I'm actually going to invite some interpreters, just people that I have connected with in the last 3 years living here in Denver as a mom. And it's going to be amazing. So if you're in the Denver area, or if you want to come from out of town, from out of state, you're more than welcome to. It's going to be an amazing morning. And I am sure you're going to get a lot out of it to connect with other women. And this is my vision, really. Once I saw how uncomplicated this could be of making this event happen, I started seeing how I could do this more often. I could even do this once a month and invite different women to share their experiences, give the opportunity to different women to talk about their business or to talk about their life, and to strengthen a community of women that are supportive of each other and that want to make friends with like-minded women. This is my vision, and I know, I already see it, that this is going to go beyond Denver as well, beyond Colorado, and I'm just so ecstatic. So I got to go on TV, and I will link everything here on the show notes, because it's come to my attention that several people that listen to the show are not on social media. And it's just so normal to me to say, you know, are you on social media? Let's connect there. And sometimes people say, no, I'm not. I don't like social media. So if you are one of those people, don't worry. I will link all the stuff for you to go see my segment on the morning show here in Denver called Daybreak on Channel 2. And I talked about strategies to increase your self-esteem. And then I said that we're going to have this event. And throughout the next few weeks until the event, which is on the 10th again of December, I'm going to be making posts and talking about the amazing women that are going to be a part of the event. So sharing a little bit of how I met them. And I will also have more interviews here on the podcast with the women that I have not interviewed. So I have Melanie be a part of that, so you already know her because I interviewed her. Natalie's going to be a part of it too. Davin Bassett, she's actually coming from out of town. She lives in Utah now. She's going to be coming to the event. I've interviewed her earlier in the year as well. She's an influencer and a social media marketing strategist. So flipping excited to have her come and to meet her in person. And there are a couple other ladies that I have not interviewed, including my coach that I'm going to interview soon here. So stay tuned. So I'm super excited about all of that. And in this process, one of the things that I started understanding about myself is how I'm coming full circle. You know, like how I took this break that, you know, motherhood really threw me for a loop, but really to help me figure out who I really am. So it really seemed confusing and like I was very lost, but really it just kind of disoriented me so that I could find my way back to myself and really understand who I am. Because like I've said so many different times, we start going through life, we start putting on layers because we start getting influenced by the people around us and by our circumstances, and we kind of lose touch with ourselves. We get disconnected, right? We start adopting things that are not us. And I truly believe that huge transitions like motherhood, like moving to a different country, like changing careers or whatever, really help us have this encounter with ourselves and say, all right, here's the deal. What do you want to do with your life? What is your mission? What is your purpose? And this is exactly what I have been doing for the last 3 years. It's taking that hard look at myself and saying, all right, Marta, who are you? What do you really want to do with your life? And one of the things that is very interesting is that taking the Enneagram test was one of the beginning points for me. I've had several different stepping stones that have led me to this moment right now. And I believe starting the podcast was one of them. And then getting to understand the Enneagram and getting to understand myself and my personality type has really helped me understand my motives for everything that I do. Because have you noticed this? You start doing things and then all of a sudden you're like, but why did I even start doing this? Like, what am I doing? And you have that one moment where you have no idea what's going on. And this is where understanding yourself and your motives really, really helps, because it's really like finding direction and understanding your compass for your life. And I believe that getting to understand my personality type has really helped me with that, which, by the way, I'm a 3 on the Enneagram. And if you have not taken the Enneagram test yet, I can link that to the show notes as well, so you can find out what your type is and then write me back. Let me know your thoughts if you resonated with that. And recently I started studying the Enneagram even more because it has helped me in my relationships as well, and especially in my marriage, in understanding why my husband sees things a certain way and why I see things a certain way. And one of the things that I have found out is that you can't really change the way you see things, because that's going to be, your personality and kind of like what you were born with, but you can change what you do with the way you see things. And this has been incredible to me, because now that I understand myself and my tendencies, I can make choices instead of just going on autopilot with those traits that I already carry with me. And one of the traits of this personality type is that I am very, very easily adaptable. I can adapt to any circumstance and fit right in. And one of the things about this personality type is that we're called a social chameleon, because I can go into any kind of circle and kind of, find my way through that, start talking like those people, start acting like those people. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like it's been so easy for me to learn languages and pick up on cultures, because I can fit in and mingle so well, which grants me different types of friendships, different types of connections, but also makes me feel a little bit lost and not knowing really who I am, because it's so easy for me to make friends with anybody and just adapt so well. And this has been the pivotal moment for me in my life, is really understanding, okay, well, you can fit in anywhere, you could do anything, you can go anywhere, but what is it that you really want to do, and what are you really meant to do? And one of the biggest frustrations that I've had was that my network marketing venture was not successful. And that is something hard for me, because I've always been very good at anything that I had tried. And it might seem cocky for me to say this, but it is true. And it's because of my personality type, because I'm so competitive. Anything that I set my mind to, if I actually follow through with it, I will make it happen and I will make it work. And I always joke and say that persistence is my middle name. I don't have a middle name, because in Brazil, you usually just carry your mother's last name and your dad's last name. And when I got married, I decided to get away, do away with both my names because it would match. I didn't want hyphenation, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just Marta Spurk. This is my name. But if I were to choose a middle name, I would say Persistence is my middle name. And so because I can do several different things and I'm very good at multitasking and all of that, it was a huge disappointment for me that network marketing did not work, because it took a lot of my time, and at the time I did not have it because the kids were still at home with me. And so I started looking for these other things and came around to finding coaching in a different way, which is what I'm doing right now, but it took me a while to get there. But it was still something that was kind of like haunting me, that disappointment. But in that disappointment, I started seeing how much I was copying what everybody else was doing, as opposed to really figuring out what I wanted to do. So within that frustration, again, that huge disappointment and transition, I got to really take a look at myself and really understand what I wanted to do with my life. And this has brought me exactly back to what I used to do before kids, but in a different way. And might I add, even better. Because now I'm more mature. Now, I know what I want. And one of the things is going back to interpreting. So this is what I used to do before. But now I see how much I've evolved. I mean, I'm freaking working for the United States government right now. I'm working for the Colorado government and also to the federal government as an immigration interpreter for immigration court. And like to think of what I used to do before, which was great, in a church setting, and to think of how much I've evolved into the opportunities that I have right now. And I can't help but be so proud of myself because I really love interpreting. Sometimes when I'm, doing the coaching thing and get frustrated, why, can't I make this my full-time income? And then I go do an interpreting job. Then I go to court and I think, I love this too. I love being in this place, learning from this different reality that is not mine. And here comes my personality type again. I would never be in a court setting unless I decided to be an attorney or work with something legally related, which I never thought about doing. But as an interpreter, I get to live that reality. I get to be in that circle without having done any of the schooling for that. Granted, it's not like I had that knowledge, but you know what I mean? When I go interpret in hospitals, I would never be in that situation of helping someone go through some kind of exam or go through some kind of test or discuss somebody that is HIV positive or somebody that is recovering from cancer. I would never be in that situation unless I decided to pursue a career related to health, which I didn't. So I love this job. It's amazing. But then you take me to talking to women and encouraging them and lifting them up. And I love that too. It's amazing. And then thinking about doing this event and being in front of people and putting myself out there in an uncomfortable situation and getting nervous or going on TV, I love it. It's amazing. And so many people that watched my interview on TV have said, you're a natural. I cannot believe how cool and collected you were. You were made for this. You're so good on TV. And I'm thinking, I agree. I love this. And so I'm finding all these things about myself, things that I had only dreamed of before. And now they're happening because I'm really finding the way back to myself. And when I started looking into more of the Enneagram, I came across this book called Road Back to Me, which is a book about the Enneagram, and it's actually a Christian author, which has everything to do with my background as well. Like I've said a million times, I grew up in a very Christian environment. My mom is a pastor, and in so many ways I felt oppressed because of this environment, even though I have felt very grateful for my upbringing. And now that I kind of broke free from it and started living my life in a different way, but still keeping those same values, but opening myself up to different things, I find myself going back to what I learned, but in a different way, because now I'm an adult, now I'm mature, now I'm a wife, I'm a mom. And it's interesting that recently somebody contacted me for help with interpreting and translation, and they asked, what's your experience? And I've always kind of felt like, my real experience before working in courts and stuff here as an interpreter was in church. I used to interpret for biannual conferences that were morning and night for a whole week in Brazil for churches, right? And it was very, very stressful and overwhelming and exhausting, but I did really good at it. It was amazing. And so when this person asked me, I was kind of like downplaying myself. Yeah, well, this is really my experience. I know it doesn't mean much. Like in the back of my head, I was thinking, I know it doesn't mean much, but I suppose I could send you a YouTube video of me interpreting for that pastor. Kind of already thinking it's no big deal. I know he's not going to think that's that great of a demonstration, a proof of my experience. And the guy was like, I actually go to a Presbyterian church. I would love to see about your religious experience. And when I sent him the YouTube video and I started watching myself, I was like, you know what? I am really proud of myself. This is the basis that I have for what I do right now. That's when I started finding that I really love interpreting, that I really love being in front of people, and I actually have no problem with it. I want more. And when that person was impressed, again, it really helped me see how I should be impressed with myself. And this is what I say all the time. This is one of the things that I said on TV, is that we usually wait for people to tell us that we're amazing, for us to feel amazing, and it should not be like that. And again, this is one of the faults and the problems with my personality type, because I seek that external validation. And I have been learning and teaching that we should not live like that. So this is very true for my personality type, but I know because of the internet, because of social media, this is the reality of lots of people. Even if they're not the same personality type as me, we wait for people to validate us, for us to feel worthy, for us to feel valuable. And I have to remind myself time and time again that people's compliments are just a bonus, that I should be recognizing myself. Because the moment that I already recognize myself, I'm not going to be searching for my value in the things that I do and outwardly. I'm going to find that value inside of myself, and I'm going to stop wasting my time and my energy trying to prove something for somebody, because I already have proven that to myself by just loving myself the way I am. And this is what this whole journey has been for me not underestimating myself. And it seems so silly for me to say this because people are so amazed by me and inspired by me. But that's why I want to share this, because even though you see me accomplishing all of these things, I still have that nagging voice inside of me that I have been learning to deal with that says, I'm not that great, so I have to do more. And I have been learning that I am great and I don't have to do anything else. I can do more things if I want to, but that does not determine my value. And I want to share this with you because I know lots of women feel like this as well. Like they need to accomplish something else so that they will feel better, so that they will feel like a better mom, so that they will feel like a better spouse. And that's not true. You already have everything. You already are everything. Yes, you can improve. Yes, you can do more, but that doesn't mean you are not whole the way that you are right now. And the moment you realize this, you'll be taking a huge weight off of your shoulders. So my proposition for you today is to not underestimate yourself. Know that you're already amazing, and the only way that you can do that is to take that road back to you. We spend so much time sacrificing our lives, and then we lose ourselves, right? We get disconnected because we're spending so much time looking at the things that we're doing and the people that we're helping, and then we forget to look at ourselves. So start taking the steps to find that way back to yourself. And how do you do that? It's personal development. It's taking that time to be quiet away from everybody. And this is something that I heard recently, is that there's so many religions and so many people and different thought patterns that say you have to take that time to meditate. You have to take that time for prayer. You have to take that quiet time for yourself. And why is that? Because we have to recharge. We have to reconnect with our essence inside so that then we can go back into the world, open the door to our bedroom and say, hey, I'm back. Now, let me pour into you. But first, you need to connect with yourself. That's what prayer is. That's what meditation is. That's whatever it is that people do when they get through a quiet time with themselves. That's what that is. And that's what we all need. I mean, even when you think about Jesus, before he went to the cross, before he was taken, he took some time alone to pray, to reconnect with himself. And this is what we do. This is what we have to do. And so when we talk about self-care, when we talk about self-love, when we talk about women giving, that's why you just feel so overwhelmed, because you have not connected back with yourself. And this can only be of harm to you and your family. So find that road back to you. And I really encourage you to take the Enneagram test, because that is really the first step. And I also recommend you come to my event, because that's what's going to be all about. That's what an empowered woman is. It's a woman that's really connected to her essence and to herself. A woman who understands what she really loves. And this is what I have been understanding about myself, that what I love is being in the spotlight. What I love is being in front of people to encourage and motivate them. Does that mean I have it all together? No, absolutely not. But this is my gift. This is my mission. This is my talent. Why don't you go about figuring out what yours is? Maybe your talent is helping somebody like me put an event together and organize and make lists and contact people. Because some people are really, really good at that. I'm not that great, and I will admit, into putting stuff together and into organizing things and into making lists. But what's amazing is that for what I'm doing right now, I didn't even need to do that much of stuff because everything came together so easily. But eventually I will need somebody that helps me with that. So there is a place for everybody. And that's what I love so much about the analogy of in the Bible that talks about the body of Christ, because you see that every single part of our body has a reason, right? It has a role, and none of them is better than the other, because even if, you think the brain is amazing, the heart is amazing, but yeah, you still need the other stuff. You still need your veins for your heart to work. You know what I mean? Like, we're all interconnected and we all need each other in different ways. So that's why it's amazing for you to find out what you're all about. Maybe you're the heart, man, and you haven't figured that out, and you're just sitting there quietly, not doing what you're supposed to be doing to help everybody else and to feel fulfilled. Because it's not about just serving people. It really is about a matter of personal fulfillment. So yeah, don't underestimate yourself. Find the road back to you and figure out how amazing you are, and how the world is waiting for you to share your talents and your gifts. Once again, thanks so much for tuning in. Were you encouraged to stop underestimating yourself? I sure hope so. Connect with me and let me know. Shoot me a message on social media or write me an email at momdoesitallpodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget to check out the show notes for links to everything I mentioned on the episode, the Enneagram, the video for my segment on TV, and the video of me interpreting, as well as all the info for my upcoming live event here in Denver. Until next time, bye!